Good evening, everyone. I'm here on the Lee Boyd Show with Loretta High School head football coach Lee Boyd. Coach, last night's game, we had a great crowd out there, and in fact, the most that I remember seeing at a Loretta football game. Last night, things just didn't go our way. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, in looking back at it in hindsight, you can't spot a team, no matter what their record is, you can't spot them 3 touchdowns.
Right.
And we did. We gave up 2 big plays right there in the first half, and actually a third. We did have 2 big victories and holding on to 2 field goals. It could have been worse than what it was, but I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if it was just we weren't ready for exactly what it was. I mean, I know it's my fault because I should have had it more prepared. But I don't know. I wish I had an answer. I wish I had the magic answer to tell you that it was, it was this that happened or this. No, basically what happened was they found a seam twice and scored quick. They kicked a couple field goals and the little out pattern. My corner come up, missed the tackle, and he just beat us in a foot race. I mean, when you're in man coverage. Even some of the best corners, and Connor does a great job for us, but even some of the best corners, he just went to make the tackle and slid off, and the kid's got enough speed to beat us to the end zone, and that's what he did. We had everybody bunched in the box because they run a really tight formation. That's just what you do to counteract that, and inevitably it kind of we just didn't have any pursuit from the other side. We didn't do anything differently on defense. I know it probably seemed like that we did. Basically what we did was we just moved some personnel down inside tight. We added 1 extra lineman, which we do when we play teams like this. Okay?
Right.
Because they have more. They don't have as many receivers. There's no need for us to have an extra safety or an extra corner or extra linebacker or whatnot. And we added an extra lineman and brought in someone that we felt like that could be physical at the end, and he did. He played a great ball game at the end. We haven't been a traditionally 5-man team. We're not a traditional 5-man team. But when you're playing a wing T team as traditional as Lawrence County, you've got to make adjustments because if we stay in our regular base defense, they'll 5-yard us to death because we're trying to force things to the outside, and they like just to run it off the edge. So,
right.
Our scheme was what it was, and it's the same scheme that we've done in the past and had a lot of success with. Their guards got on us a couple times and kicked us out. If you go back, with the exception of the 3 big plays, we pretty much kept them, shut down. I mean, I would say, they didn't have much success at all other than the big plays.
Right.
Second half especially. Some penalties kept them alive or something of that nature, but we tackled them more for a loss than we let them go.
Exactly.
It's one of those things where you tackle, and boom, they break one. And unfortunately, that was devastating to us in the game. But, it's football.
Right.
I wish I could just say that it didn't happen, but it's football. It happens to even teams that win the state championship.
Exactly.
Defense wasn't the reason why we lost the football game. We had our opportunities in the first half offensively. The very first play that we run offensively, we almost broke it up the middle and just happened to get a hand on the football. Matt made a good read there and took off, and he saw the seam and was going to split the safeties, and just a backside linebacker just happened to wrap his arm around when he was tackling and hit the ball. Once again, it's football. Sometimes it happens. It's not that we're not, teaching ball security. It just sometimes it happens.
Right.
But we give them a short field there, and they kicked the field goal, and they were up, 10-0. We come out the next, and we kind of, we still were clicking 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 yards apart. In fact, we drove it all the way down the field about 80 yards, and got inside the 10. We brought our big boy set in, and they shifted to us to something that. They shifted out to Big Tony. And the first play we ran, we had it. We ended up getting 5.5 yards on it and got it down inside the 5. And But when we saw them shift in, there was no sense in staying in the big boy set because they were just going to clog the hole we were running in.
Right.
It was a good adjustment on their part, and we felt like at the time we wanted to do something different, so we got Tony out, and had two specific plays we run. One of them we saw it should have been a touchdown. We saw the hole from where we were at. Back just didn't hit the hole. I mean, that once again, they're out on the football field and there's people flying at them. You know, sometimes backs miss the hole. But I mean, and they kept us out of the end zone, which was great on their part. And then they turned right around and you know, break it 2 plays later on a sweep. And you know, we had one get kicked out, one get washed down. The linebacker got cut, and I'm sure there was some holding going on. But regardless, you know, I think the Loveless kid split us right there, and he took off, and we didn't catch him. You know, so we're down 17-0. We come out, we're still driving it down the field, and we're just clicking off, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're passing it when we need to. We get on a 3rd and long situation because of a holding call or something, and they double cover our receiver out there, and we've got a play called quick slant or something, I don't know. And Matt does a good job. He pumps one time, safety steps up and he rolls and he hits Miles going across the middle. And Miles, the coach, I just took Miles off of it. Miles is a great receiver. All my receivers that I put up there, they're extremely, extremely talented receivers.
Right.
But they're susceptible to things like that happening. And he take him over. He felt horrible about it. He said, Coach, I just I took my eye off of it. And he said I was trying to find Matt. Matt had to roll a little bit, and it didn't matter. Late in the ball game, Miles comes back. Miles is that's what he does. He can catch it if it's close to him. That when he drops, so be it.
Right.
So be it. It happens.
Right.
So it ain't no different than anybody fumbling or anything like that. Then we have to pull it. We have the penalty over there, and after the penalty, we actually got them lined up in neutral zone. Had another penalty. I was debating on just going for it. We were about midfield. There wasn't but 40, 50 seconds left. I don't know. And I thought, well, we could just go for it and then stall them out. I was a little concerned because we had been out there a while and had a bad snap. Ball went over Spencer's head. They get the ball on the 8-yard line. That was absolutely the worst case scenario that could have happened.
Absolutely.
But my defense bowled their neck up right there. They did not allow them to get in the end zone. And that was unbelievable. They held them to a field goal on 3 straight plays from inside the 5-yard line. And with a team that has that kind of size, that was pretty special. So we go in, we're down 24-0. And I know everybody probably thinks, well, he's fixing to go in and yell and scream. I don't really do that. Boys don't. They didn't let them score 24 points because they didn't do it on purpose.
Right. So
we went in and I talked to my guys upstairs and I said, are we out of position? He said, Coach, no, we're where we need to be. We're just not getting there. He said we're getting blocked. So it wasn't a scheme thing. Offensively we didn't have to make any adjustments because we were doing what we wanted to.
Right.
And so basically I just went in and talked to them about them. And what had happened and how sometimes in life that you don't get life doesn't go exactly how you planned it in your mind and what makes you as a man or as a person as an adult is how you respond to that even when you don't think that you have a chance. Is it okay? That's what character is.
Right.
What kind of character do you have when you get in this situation? Because I explained to them that every person that they know has been in a situation like they were in right there. They had went back, or they had done something, or something had happened, and they didn't know what to do. It did not work out like they wanted to. And but I said, this is where we learn and find out what we're made of. And this is what I told them. And I don't divulge a lot of things from what I tell my kids in the locker room, but I told them this. I said, the only way you'll lose this football game tonight is if we run out of time. And I meant that, and that was the truth.
Absolutely.
We just run out of time. We would have played till tomorrow morning. We'd have still been playing right now if it meant, that's how long we needed to play to win.
Right.
Because that's just what we do. We just don't quit. And that's all I asked of them. I said, don't you quit me, and I ain't going to quit you. And I said, don't you quit this community. They're here. I said, you fight. You fight for me this second half. nobody left. When we come outside, we realized nobody had left. That was pretty special to me. That just shows how much our community believes in us. And,
Exactly.
Hey, we didn't do what we were supposed to begin with. We screwed up, but they didn't. They still believed in us. And I think everybody, and I say this, I may be wrong. You were there. I think everybody knew we were fixing to do something. I mean, you were up in the stands, obviously, and on the sidelines. You probably knew too. We were fixing to do something. We were going to respond somehow. We always have. We didn't quit. We didn't put our heads down. We didn't just say it's over. And we did what we had to do the second half. Didn't have enough time to get it done though.
Right.
We just didn't have enough time to get it done. We won the second half obviously, and we actually had we had a call down there at the close to the end of the ball game. We were driving to score one more time, and I thought was maybe a bad call on a holding penalty. Kind of kept us out of the end zone, and then the onside kick.
Right.
We thought we had it too, but the lesson to be learned here, even from me, is and the kids too, is don't take anything for granted. You don't take for granted that just because someone's 0-3, and I said that last week, just because they're 0-3, a rivalry game's a rivalry game.
Exactly.
Tennessee could be playing Alabama, and one of them could be undefeated, and the other one could be, had only won one ball game. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be what it is, and that's what it was. It was awesome. I mean, the whole night was awesome. The people, the atmosphere, the way the community come together. Everybody thinks that they hate each other. I don't think we hate each other. We're just competitive.
Right.
This county's we have a competitive spirit. And it doesn't matter if we're playing, Lawrence County, Loretta, or Loretta, Summertown, or Lawrence County, Summertown. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
It's a competitive spirit, and it was great. The fans were great. It's just, I was just so took back at what happened, with all the people there, and I told my kids this last night, and I know you heard it because you were out there. We talked in the middle of the field, and we prayed in the middle of the field. We're going to do that. And this is what I told them. I said, I'm the luckiest guy in the stadium right now. And I told them, I said, I know that Coach Marston, and they just won a football game. But I'm the luckiest coach in the stadium right now. And I said, here's the reason why. I said, you didn't quit me.
Right.
You didn't back down. And I said, you fought for me the whole time. You did what I asked you to do. And I wouldn't trade him for any team in the state of Tennessee. Not one. Now, if someone come to me tomorrow and said, we'll give you this, I don't want it. I want them. I want where I'm at. I want that. And last night, my kids won because they played. That's all I know to say about it. I don't have an excuse. I don't have a magic thing to say. Our kids won because they played. Both teams. Score's a score. They scored more points than we did. But we didn't quit.
Exactly.
And for a 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids in this day and time to not quit, it's special.
Exactly.
It says something about them with character. So I was the luckiest man. I still am. I'm the luckiest man that in this county right now because my kids didn't quit.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, looking forward this coming Friday night. We travel over to Wayne County, another big region game. Be looking for to go hopefully 2-0 in the region this year. What are some keys, that we need to do in order to overcome and win against the Wildcats this week?
Well, and I was thinking about this today. If I had to lose to one of these two Wildcats in the big scheme of things, I'd rather lost to the one I lost to this week.
Absolutely.
Because this one is a region. This one means our, the every game from this point forth is so important in the scheme of things for the playoffs and where we want to be. Yeah, we want to beat Lawrence County. I know they want to beat us. If you didn't get up for that, you're not alive inside.
Right.
But I much rather, right now, I'd rather beat them Wildcats because it kind of in the direction that we want to go. It's important. Coach Rice does a great job. Obviously, they just won the state championship last year. They lost a lot of seniors, and they took some lumps the first 3 ball games. They played a team last night that was undefeated. In fact, they played Cascade, the team that put us out of the playoffs last year. Cascade had already beat Mount Pleasant and 2 or 3 others, and had kind of steamrolled them pretty good. They're really big again. And Wayne County, I talked to Coach Rice on Thursday, and he said, Coach, they're really big, but he said, we'll play a little better. And they beat them. They beat them last night. Wayne County can be a huge win for them. That's going to give them a little momentum.
Right.
And that's good. We want competitive, we want
absolutely.
competitiveness.
Right.
But we know we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to fight. They run the beer, and they run the eye, and that's okay. We've already seen that a little bit at Summit. And
right.
The key's going to be this. We're going to have a short memory again. If we just dwell, and my kids don't. I'll go ahead and tell you that. They don't.
Right.
Last night it hurt. They were cut. It pains me. They're like my own sons, and it pains me to see them hurt. But they're resilient. This game's over. That game, last night, it's over.
Right.
It can't come back. It's over. Okay. And now our focus is Wayne County. And if we beat Wayne County, then we've done our job.
Absolutely.
We have the ability to do that. We have the ability to win every ball game that we're in. We had the ability to win that one last night. And the key's going to be to play hard, play assignment football, pull close together as a family again. Well, we might have got away from that a little bit last night in the first half. We got to learn to rely on each other. And if we can do that, I know we'll take care of business.
No doubt about it. Coach, I appreciate you joining us this week here on MustangsTV.com. Look forward to next week. Everybody, please come out and support the Mustangs as you have all year. Your support in the stands is very important. Because it really shows on the field and it helps our guys out. For the Lee Boyd Show this week, I'm Kyle Johnson with Lee Boyd. Thank you for watching.